There's an amazing deal over at AppSumo. In this video, I'm going to tell you all about Wishlist Member. What's up, LTD addicts? I'm Dave Swift from thatLTD.life, where I review software tools with lifetime offers. I'm reviewing each and every deal that comes out on AppSumo. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, and don't forget to click that notification bell if you're into LTDs. Today, we are talking about Wishlist Member. This is $49. Now, I gotta tell you, if you guys have not heard of Wishlist Member before, this is one of the oldest membership plugins for WordPress. I think it's almost like 10 years old. But it's been kept up. They've added new features. There's a new version. So this is actually a really exciting deal. You can see you can't get unlimited sites here, but I'm surprised to see Wishlist Member at all on AppSumo. So 3 sites is $49, 10 sites is $98, and 50 sites is $147. Of course, you could always buy multiples of those and open up multiple Wishlist Member accounts if you needed more than 50 sites. It's still a bargain of a deal. Now, I don't often compare to the manufacturer's pricing because that can vary during LTD time, but Wishlist Member has been around for so long that we definitely can trust their pricing here. You can see that 1 site is $147 per year, 3 sites is going to be $197 per year, and that's what we're getting for a one-time purchase over at AppSumo, and it's not per year, it's a lifetime deal. You can see that they do have a 10 and a 50 site plan, so this corresponds to 1, 2, and 3 codes. This is an absolute great deal. You can see in their copy, they say they're trusted by 101,000 membership sites. So that is impressive. That is a huge number of WordPress installations. So I've already got a demo site all set up for you. Let me just run through the features here so you can understand what exactly Wishlist Member can do for you. What we're looking at right now is the dashboard, and this will give you a bird's eye view of everything that's going on in your membership site. So you can see the total number of users on your site, the number of members, and the number of non-members. Now, obviously this is a demo site. I just set this up. So there's 1 user and I'm currently an admin. I'm not actually a member. So you're seeing the total number of members being 0. Now down below, we can see the number of active members, the number of canceled members, and the number of expired members. Some important information here is even if I had 1 canceled member, it would still show up as a canceled member up here. So the active number is probably the metric you're going to care about the most because that of course is going to tell you a little bit more about your projected revenue. Then down here we have needs approval and unconfirmed. Now what this means is you can set it up so that you have to approve someone to sign up for your membership site if you like, and you can also have confirmation via email, so someone has to confirm that they have the email address that they signed up with in order to become a registered member. Then down below here we have membership levels, so you can restrict people's access based on how much they're paying. So I've set up a membership level already for good, but let's go ahead and add a new membership level right now. I'm going to go over to the sidebar here, choose setup, then under levels, let's go ahead and hit the plus button here to create a new one. The first level I created was good, so let's do better. We'll hit apply. Now in this first tab, we can set up the access for this membership. The first thing you're going to do is decide when the access will expire. Will it be ongoing as long as they continue to be a member, they will get access, or will it be a fixed term? Will they get 6 months or maybe a year worth of access, or do you want to have it end on a specific date? So all membership ends, say, July 1st, and then no one will be able to access anything after that. Then we can grant access to basically everything on the site. Even Wishlist Member themselves say this is a pretty unlikely scenario, but if you wanted to say grant access to all posts, all pages, you can do it with one kind of master switch right here. Most of the time, you're going to leave this in its default setting. Then over here, we have remove from as well as add to. This would be for upgrades. So if someone goes from good to better, I'd probably want to remove them from the good level. You could also set up add to, which is really for bonuses. So let's say you had a temporary promotional period, you could create a separate membership level that just includes those bonuses. And then when anyone signs up that qualifies for that bonus, you could have them add to the bonus level. This inherit level status, this refers to whether or not this add to section is reflective of the current access level of the membership level. So for example, let's say we add them to a bonus membership level, and then a few months pass and they end up canceling their membership altogether. If we check inherit level status, that means they will also lose access to their bonus material when their main membership cancels. If you leave this unchecked, they could keep their bonus material for an ongoing period of time indefinitely. The next tab over here is registrations, and this allows us to set up registration from new members, existing members, or both new and existing members. There are several other features here. I'm not going to be able to explain each one. You'll probably want to dig into this further when you set up your membership site, but this one right here called Grant Continued Access is particularly interesting. What you can do is actually toggle this on, and then if people cancel their membership, they can still get access to your content. So I'm sure there are use cases out there where you want someone to pay for something and then still get access even after the membership has expired. Maybe you're not going to provide support, but they can still log in, that sort of thing. Under requirements, we can set up some of those permissions I was speaking about just a moment ago, such as requiring administrator approval or making people confirm their email addresses before they register. We can also set up a terms and conditions right here, or even turn on Google's reCAPTCHA service. Now, doing that, you do have to set up the app inside of Google's reCAPTCHA application. That's totally free to do, but there are a few hoops to jump through. Under additional settings, the things of interest here, it's definitely going to be the redirects. We can set up a redirection after someone registers, so they become a new member, and you could send them to, say, a welcome page and show them around what they're supposed to do first. We could also have a dedicated page for a login redirect as well as a log out redirect. I know that I visit some membership sites. Even just today, I visited a well-known YouTuber's membership site, logged in, and I get sent to the WordPress backend instead of the actual main part of the site. So setting up your custom login after redirect is definitely a must-do if you want to provide a good user experience. One thing I think Wishlist Member does a great job of is email notifications. There are several email notifications throughout the plugin. In this setting, we have access to our new member registration, incomplete registrations, membership canceled emails, as well as membership uncanceled emails for when people come back. Editing the notifications is very easy. All of the screens look the same, so I won't go through each one individually, but you can see we have both a user as well as an administrator notification, so both your users and yourself can be informed when a change is made. And then we have just a typical WordPress editor down here, but they do have these merge codes which allow you to enter in, say, someone's first name or their email address, maybe their membership level. You could send out a message and say, hey, it looks like you just canceled your membership level, and it would enter in, say, good or better or whatever you name your membership levels. Now, once you've got your membership levels set up, you're going to want to get some new members in there so you can get paid. Well, before you can do that, you're going to have to set up some integrations. So I'm over here under Setup Integrations, and here you can choose your payment providers. Now this supports a ton of different shopping carts, including some of my favorites like PayPal, Stripe, and Thrivecart. You also see things like Samcart down here. I know that's another very popular service, but the one missing cart that everyone's going to expect to see and not is WooCommerce. There is a roadmap item for WooCommerce, but it is not currently supported. So you'll have to connect directly to Stripe or PayPal right now if you don't already have something like the Thrivecart LTD, which I highly recommend, by the way. So let's move forward, assuming you're using the standard payment providers that most people accept. At least in the States, it's typically Stripe and PayPal. Now, there is one little glitch in the system here. It's definitely not a showstopper, but it does make for a little bit of redundant work. So if I'm accepting both PayPal and Stripe, the issue is that when I connect into PayPal, I set up my integration, which I'm not going to show you. You basically just click configure here and enter in your private keys and things like that. Then you move over to the next tab where you set up your products. Now, here's where the issue is. These products are connected to PayPal. They're not necessarily connected at the system level, right? They're kind of removed one step over. So if I wanted to offer these same products inside of Stripe, or maybe I want to offer 4 or 5 different payment providers, I'll have to go through and set them up inside of each one, which is just a little bit tedious. In my opinion, it would be nicer if they did what Thrivecart does in terms of you set up your products and then you choose which payment providers you want to support, and they take care of connecting all the dots for you. Let's go through the process of actually creating a product here. So I'll hit add new product, and then I'll give this product a name, and I'll call it Good Member for signing up for the Good membership level. They'll get access to that level right here. Note that you can only access one membership level. I can't add Good and Better in the same product. Then I'll make this a subscription payment, and I can make it, let's say, $10 per month. It's going to have a 1-month billing cycle, although I could change this to be, every day or every year. If I wanted to create maybe a variation of a monthly and an annual product, I could certainly do that. Max failed attempts is how many times you'll retry their credit card before you just cancel the subscription. And down here, you can also set up a trial period and ask for a shipping address if that's important to you. Maybe you want to send out some goodies when they sign up to your membership site. Over here is the cancellations tab. tab, and this is how you deal with cancellations. This is maybe a PayPal specific situation, but the way PayPal subscriptions work, if someone cancels on their end, basically that'll cut them off completely from accessing your site. However, you might want to allow them to access the site for the remainder of the month since they've already paid for it. So that's what this default setting is over here. Canceled memberships immediately after PayPal subscription is canceled. If you wanted them to allow them to continue the membership, you could check this box over here. You wouldn't want to have them both checked. I'm not sure even why that's allowed. So once you have your payment providers and your products all set up, you can also connect other services such as email providers. You can see there is a pretty decent range of email providers here. You'll want to check the list to make sure the provider that you're using is supported, of course. You got all the big dogs like MailChimp, Aweber, Constant Contact, ConvertKit, Drip, Infusionsoft. You can see all of the names here, GetResponse, ActiveCampaign, of course. There are other services that are able to be connected as well, such as EasyWebinar, GoToWebinar, another big one, LearnDash, which is this is a very new integration for Wishlist Member, so happy to see that one up here. Now, people are already asking, are other recent LTDs going to be supported? Things like BuddyBoss or Tutor LMS, and the answer is yes, they are on the roadmap. However, I've seen the roadmap and it looks pretty long, so I'm not sure when these will be available. They seem very enthusiastic about fulfilling the roadmap, so I've learned my lesson to not hold my breath for these things, although they do seem like they're good intentioned here. All right, so we've got our membership levels set up, we've got our product set up. Now, how do we actually protect our content? Well, it's really easy. I've got the default WordPress post set up over here. Let's go and click on that. And you're gonna see some new fields here when this loads up. We've got this Wishlist Member field right here. And I'll click on the protection and access. And if I wanted to protect this, I could go ahead and choose it as protected. Then I can choose which membership levels will be able to access the content and just hit apply settings. Now, what happens when someone goes to this page and they're not a member? Well, you can set that all up right here. This is a really nice user interface for this. For non-members, I'll go ahead and hit configure, and then I could choose a page that people go to when they try to access this post, but they're not members. I could also just display a message if I wanted to, or even just redirect them off site, maybe rickroll them. These bottom three tabs, Scheduler, Archiver, and Manager, are not on by default. So let me show you how to turn them on. You go up to Wishlist Member and then go to Content Control. So here is the Content Control settings, and this is where we can enable those features. So the Content Scheduler is going to allow me to schedule content to be available after a certain number of days when someone signs up. So you'll be able to essentially drip out your content to your members. The Content Archiver kind of does the opposite. It pulls the content away. Now you can set it up so that it actually makes the content available for anyone who is active while it was published, but anyone who signs up after that time, well, they won't be able to access the content. So this is a good motivator to keep people engaged with your membership site, and so they don't just sign up for, say, 1 month and they cancel for a year and sign up for another month and try to get all of the backlog content. This will prevent that. Then we also have the Content Manager, which will allow you to move content between different categories. So if you restrict membership level by category, you can basically decide who gets access to what content on a particular category level. It does have the ability to repost content as well, so that if you have new people coming in, it can look like each post is still being put out, let's say, on a daily basis. Maybe you make 365 different posts and they just repeat on a daily basis over the course of a year. It'll look like your membership site is always putting out fresh material. There is some more content protection available here. If you wanted to do it on a case-by-case basis, you could say view all posts, and you'd be able to take a look and see whether that content is protected and actually go ahead and modify it right from this screen. We can do that for posts, pages. I went ahead and I installed Pods, which is a free WordPress plugin that lets you create additional custom post types just to see whether Wishlist Member would work well with it, and it does. I was able to create a custom post type called courses, and I made a couple of posts in it, and I'm able to control whether or not those posts are restricted or not. So you might not even need a learning management system like LearnDash if your needs are on the sparse end of things when it comes to courses. Some other really cool functionality is each time a membership level is created, a new folder is created, and you'd be able to upload files to that, and it corresponds automatically with the membership level that you give them, of course. So people who sign up for Better, you could put files inside of this Better folder, and then they'd they'd have access to that. If you don't want to get into uploading through FTP or folders or anything like that, you can of course just upload files to the WordPress Media Manager and you can restrict them right here. Now, by default, it's set to ignore, let's say, images, because of course you want images to show up all the time on your website. But if you're trying to restrict access to something like a PDF, maybe you have a free report or a lead magnet that you want to restrict access to, you could do that right over here by just uploading it and then protecting it with maybe a free membership level that someone has to register to get access to. Over here under the advanced options, we have the ability to create custom registration forms. I think this is one of the coolest parts of Wishlist Member in that it's got a pretty decent form builder added right in. Let me show you how this works. I'll click right here where it says add custom registration form. I'll give this a forum name. We'll call it Good Member, hit apply. And now I've got all of the fields available to me to create a form here. Now by default, it's going to collect these fields. In fact, you don't have to do anything. When you create a membership level, it creates this kind of default form for you. But if I wanted to add some more specific forms that are relevant to my site, I could certainly do that. Under standard fields, we can add in things like text boxes, drop-down lists, radio buttons, check boxes. These are going to function just like you'd expect. I'll drag a text box in over here, and I could ask someone, let's see, click on this. We'll say, I changed it to say, tell me about yourself. And here we go. Now it says, tell me about yourself. If I decide I don't want this field, of course, I can trash it right here, or I can even duplicate it and just modify the label to, ask another question. We can also pull in WordPress profile fields. So if you haven't seen a WordPress user setting, there's basically all of these other fields that you can add in. So you can have them have a nickname if you want, ask them their Jabber or Google Talk username, because those are relevant. Then there are also Wishlist member address fields where we can ask someone, say, their company name or what city or town they're from. And then we can just go ahead and save and close this form. And then when people register, that is the form they will see. Now over here in registration settings, this is going to talk more about the style. Now it is advised that you use the theme style, the default setting here, which means that it's basically going to pull in the form styling that your theme already uses. So if you're using something like Astra, it's going to make forms look really nice, and you can control that over in the customizer. But if you wanted to do this with some other settings, you could of course use the Wishlist member default, or even dating way back to their legacy style that is still available here. Still under advanced options, under login, I want to point out this feature because I know that people tend to care about this and it might be hard to explain what it is that you're looking for. So we have this default login limit, and then you can set a number of IPs per day. So when you have membership sites, a lot of people worry that someone's going to share their password and then they'll let hundreds of people access their membership site and people won't be incentivized to actually become members. Well, there is some protection to that built into the application here. You can set this to say maybe be 3 IP addresses per day. I think that's pretty, pretty generous amount. So you have someone's, their home, their work, and maybe their mobile phone. They're all going to have different IP addresses. They'll be able to log in. If you're, really concerned that that's not enough, you could of course bump it up. 7 was the default setting, and you can turn this off completely if you don't care. You can just set it to 0, and it says that disables the function. Of course, by default, you will get a notification if someone exceeds their logins, and you can also set the message that they receive when they do get that error message. We can also disable the WordPress admin bar for members who are logged in. And I mentioned that I just logged into another membership site earlier today, I believe it was, and I got sent to the WordPress backend. And you can actually just turn off this admin bar up here altogether. Kind of hides the fact that you're using WordPress a little bit. I mean, anyone who's tech savvy will, of course, be able to figure it out. But it just kind of, takes out that WordPress element a little bit. So Wishlist Member is definitely a must buy if you are a WordPress user thinking about creating a membership website. This is a steal of a deal. Can't emphasize that enough. Now, it's not actually the membership plugin that I tend to use. I like Restricted Content Pro. I've got their lifetime deal, and it's the one I generally recommend. However, it's 10 times as expensive. I think it's $500 for unlimited sites. So if you do need unlimited sites, that's definitely one to consider. But this has so much going for it. The only things that I can really, pull away from it is maybe a little bit of the clunkiness in setting up the products to the payment processor, and then also the fact that it doesn't work with WooCommerce. So if you're trying to build a sales funnel using something like cart flows, it's not going to work. In that case, I would definitely recommend ThriveCart. In fact, I've got a ThriveCart video that I'm working on. They just released a new cart builder, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. So make sure you get subscribed if you're not already, because that video will be coming out a little bit later next week. So bottom line, I think Wishlist Member is an absolute steal of a deal. You should definitely pick this one up. I'm going to give it a 9.2 out of 10. That's going to do it for this video. I hope it's been helpful to you. If it has, make sure you click the link below if you're going to make a purchase. That does kick us back a few bucks over here at the channel. Helps support us to make more review videos like this one. Hey, I got a couple things to tell you about. We got a brand new website up. Make sure you visit thatltd.life. We got a review section. You can click over there, see the written version of this review. Sometimes we have very long blog posts. Other times we just have the video in there. But the important part is you can leave your feedback. We've got a little slider. You can rate the reviews on a scale of 1 to 10, and you can even use the decimal points that I use if you like. Leave comments over there. Leave your own review. I want to hear what you think of these deals as well. Then after you're done checking out the new website, make sure you head over to our Facebook group. We got a really friendly and intelligent group of people over there that are excited to help you out with any LTD questions you might have, or even just any business software questions in general. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next review.